This video is brought to you by the Boston State Police Department. Boston State Police Department. We're not criminals, mostly. Hey guys, it's Zimran Jacob. Welcome to my channel where I break down films and shows from a screenwriter's perspective. And in this video, we're going to be talking about The Departed, and especially the subtext in a lot of scenes as it relates to the theme of the movie about Colin Sullivan's character, who is played by Matt Damon. There's some indication that his character might be bisexual or gay, but it's never really stated directly in the film. The reason I thought this was fascinating was back when this film came out, this was pre-Proposition 8 and the Supreme Court legalizing gay marriage. I thought it was interesting to see how Scorsese and William Monahan portrayed a closeted gay man, or he may or may not be, but you let me know in the comments. But I was really interested in this because I saw it at such a formative age in my filmmaking career, and it was such an interesting topic. And I'll try to give context and analyze the movie from the perspective of Colin's character. So again, this movie was written by William Monahan and directed by Martin Scorsese, and it was amazing. So this was an interesting little tidbit in the movie that's, one of my favorite movies of all time. So here you see, it starts with the thesis. Sullivan may or may not be a gay character in this, but it's never addressed clearly in the film. And so you have to dig into the subtext in a lot of scenes to really find that out.
Fuck you! Fucking queers. Firemen getting pussy for the first time in the history of fire or pussy. Hey, go save a kitten in a tree, you fucking homos!
He comes out of the gate hot with these slurs against gay people. It's the first time we really see this character. We can't necessarily read too much into it immediately, but it is indicative of a pattern of behavior, and in psychology we call this projection, when you project your feelings about yourself onto other people, and that is what I believe is happening in this scene.
What are you looking at? Forget it. Your father was a janitor. His son's only a cop.
Fucking firefighters are a bunch of homos. They are.
So again, he makes the same slur, and he's saying the same thing about firefighters, and it really comes from a place of insecurity about himself.
You move in, you're upper class by about Tuesday. So, you're a cop?
Yeah, state police detective.
State police detective. And are you a married state police detective, or?
No.
Because it's kind of a, sort of a big place, and...
I have a co-signer.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you tend to have a house guest. That's cool. Great. Yeah,
Just give me the papers.
Sure.
I have an immaculate record.
So yeah, we see that scene with a real estate agent who kind of asks some questions that he gets very upset about whether or not he's married. It's a source of insecurity. Again, this is 2 years before Proposition 8 and the concurrent Supreme Court justice ruling. And so what the writer William Monahan and what Martin Scorsese are saying is that this man had to live as a closeted gay person because society would not accept him. And it's really interesting to see this portrayal, because we see at different times how he has to mask his character, or may or may not be masking his character, and he can't truly be himself.
How's your wedding coming along?
Great. Great, she's a doctor.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Marriage is an important part of getting ahead. Lets people know you're not a homo. Married guy seems more stable. People see the ring, they think at least somebody can stand the son of a bitch. Ladies see the ring, they know immediately you must have some cash and your cock must work.
Yeah, it's working. Overtime.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
Earlier on, we kind of see him not being able to perform with his partner, and so we know he's lying in this scene. And again, Ellerby, played by Alec Baldwin, is talking about all of the stereotypes of a married person, and we see that at the very least Sullivan doesn't fit into one of the stereotypes, and he may not fall into any of the stereotypes ultimately. So here we have, he's in a pornographic theater and he's watching, this is before the internet. He's in a porno theater. He's basically pulling a reverse Pee Wee Herman, and he's not doing anything lewd because he's very uncomfortable, and he doesn't. He refuses. You know, he doesn't feel comfortable, even though this is a all female scene. He's not interested in it at all, and you can see that here by the look on his face. He's not comfortable at all. And so what's cut out of that scene is that I'll just show it to you later.
So do you want to talk about last night? You know, it's all right. Guys tend to make too big a deal out of it.
So we can kind of see that Sullivan's partner is confronting him about it, and the fact that he's not able to perform in the bedroom, and that's kind of contrasted with Billy's life here as a gangster. But you can see the external turmoil in Billy's life is kind of indicative of the internal turmoil in Sullivan's life.
It's actually quite common.
I gotta go to work.
Does it get messy with all those feelings flying around?
So on their first date, it kind of shows that there's hints that he's not interested in Madeline, and he maybe makes a little joke about it.
Why? Does that make you uncomfortable?
No.
No?
No, I'm not on your couch.
Well, you know what Freud said about the Irish.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, if you actually do, I'll see you again.
Who says I want to see you again?
So here they're having like a little like power struggle between them. She's saying, "Oh yeah, if you know what Freud said, then I'll see you again." And she's challenging him a little bit, and then he's saying, "How do you know if that's interesting to me?" And she's not used to it.
You should see your face.
Don't you?
Of course I want to see you again. What Freud said about the Irish is we're the only people who are impervious to psychoanalysis.
So that's a very interesting part of the movie where he pretends, or where he makes the joke, but there might be some truth in the joke.
Really?
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah. And they say that this little speck is a penis.
So Madeline is pregnant, and he doesn't believe that he impregnated her, which again has to do with his sexuality. He doesn't believe that he's actually been able to father a child. I mean, read into that what you may, but we also know that she's been having sex with another man, and so we have to wonder whose child it is. But again, we don't know, since one of the main motifs in this movie is what's the difference. There's so much uncertainty, and there's so much left to the viewer's interpretation of the movie. And so while she did have sex with Billy Costigan, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who knows? Maybe Sullivan was the father. We'll just never know.
Oh, Frank. Do they know about me?
I know about you, Colin. You know I'd never give you up. You're like a...
What, like a son? To you? Is that what this is about?
Your police as a long tradition of excellence. Your graduation today.
So really, I mean, yeah, this YouTuber kind of asked, why would Scorsese be interested in this subject matter? But really, it's all of this stuff is underlined by the theme of the movie, the double life, the search for identity and people not knowing who they really are and people not knowing who those people really are, and deception and self-deception. Colin's portrayal is indicative of that, is indicative of a man who's trying to find himself, but is unfortunately never able to.
Acceptance into one of the finest law enforcement agencies in our nation. As the governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am confident each and every one of you will serve with distinction, honor, and integrity.
Congratulations to all our new troopers. Thank you. You are dismissed.
So yeah, a major motif of this movie is identity. But really, to me, this is the scene that gives it all away. The theater scene, and it got cut out in the last video, but this to me is the scene that really puts it over the top. We see Costello pulling a trick on Sullivan, and a little bit of background. Costello is Sullivan's father figure. Costello, played by Jack Nicholson, took Matt Damon's character off of the streets and started to mentor him, and it's even implied that Costello had a sexual relationship with Sullivan, or something close to a sexual relationship with Sullivan throughout the movie. But ultimately, Costello is the person who knows Sullivan the best, and he's going to say some things that kind of, in my opinion, give it away.
What the heck is wrong with you? See anything you like, Colin?
So he says, "You see that thing you like, Colin?" he says, he turns around holding a fake penis, and says to Colin, "See that thing you like?" If anybody knows, it would be Costello. And at this point, Sullivan is the only character in the movie that, besides Costello himself, who is kind of facing accusations of homosexuality or being homosexual. So there's a kind of a running theme, and that coupled with a scene like the firefighter scene kind of, in my opinion, gives it all away.
Shot you. I mean, you're not indulging in self-abuse, are you?
And he says, "You're not indulging in self-abuse, are you, by being in the movie theater, in the porno theater, watching the movie?" He knows him, again, better than anybody else in the world, so why would he make this line of joke?
I hope you're not turning into one of them sob sisters supposed to get caught. You're not cracking up, are you?
I don't crack up.
Pick a place like this. Any cop could see you, Jesus.
This is such a bad idea. Why'd you show up?
I own the place.
Why am I not freaking surprised? I gotta tell you.
You're getting reassigned.
How on earth do you know that?
Where'd they put you?
Hey, Frank. I gotta find myself.
You're telling me, sonny boy.
Sullivan says, "I gotta find myself," and Costello says, "You're telling me, sonny boy." Again, making more jokes about Sullivan's identity, and let this scene play out. But it's kind of, at this point, it's kind of obvious that Frank knows that Sullivan is gay. And again, the portrayal is really to show that the world that they lived in was a very kind of homophobic world that didn't accept him for who he was, and he was never able to be himself.
Boy,
I gotta find the guy you got in the department.
with everybody looking up their own ass and you looking for yourself, I put my money on nobody finds nothing.
I know, but
there's so many levels and layers to what he just said, because there's the text, which is you're the mole in the police department and you're looking for yourself and nobody's going to find anything. It's just so well done, and it's so economical.
Frank, look, for me, you gotta lay low right now.
So anyway, I think that really wraps it up. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'll probably do a deeper dive into it since I love it so much. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is this analysis correct? Is Sullivan from The Departed a closeted gay character? And are there any other hints in the movie that could tip you off? Yeah, if you like movies, be sure to like and subscribe and comment on any other movies you'd like me to analyze. And I'll see you next time.